in y'all's library so you have it, which is amazing. Okay. All right. So number one thing is how to set up workshops. People have a hard time with this. So I really wanted to make this from start to finish. How are you going to, get the workshop, do the workshop, and then convert them into patients? So here we go. Number one, write down in your area what gyms, what juice bars, what places that have people that actually you want to treat or that's in your realm of treatment. So for instance, if I was a chronic pain pelvic health therapist, then I would go more to like yoga studios or find acupuncturists, something like that. If I'm more of like a CrossFit athlete kind of person that I want to treat those CrossFitters, then I would go more towards like a CrossFit gym. A chronic pain person more than likely is not going to be at a CrossFit gym. I mean, they can, you can hit them, but more than likely they're not going to be there. So know really truly who your target population is and make sure that you're targeting them. So yes, we're all pelvic health PTs and OTs, but who do you actually want to hit? So once you figure that out and you come up with a list, then I need you to go down the list and start emailing these people. After that, you can go in, you can take a class. Let's just say I go into Orange Theory, I take a class. And while I'm there, I just ask for the manager. I'm like, hey, is the manager there? And they're like, nope, the manager's not here. Whoever is at the front desk, make sure that you ask them what's the manager's name, get their email, phone number, and when will they actually be there. So you have to know when they're going to be there, because guess what? You're not going to waste your time next time, and you're going to take a class when that manager is actually there. Okay? You're going to try, at least. You're going to try to set that up. Okay? And more than likely, guys, just so you guys know, managers normally are in their area or in their gym around like 12 o'clock-ish, or in the mornings. They're typically there. So just so you guys know of like, hey, maybe I should take a class around this time. Also, what I like to do is go to Instagram and send them a DM, okay? And Instagram now is, just so you guys know, this is a little off topic, but Instagram now is showing people, like people are actually searching more in Instagram and TikTok than they are on Google to find you, by the way. So if your business has a physical location, I need you to tag your business in the stories. And hopefully you guys can see this. Okay, if I go here, hold on, and I go to, I have to post a story. Crap, hold on. I'm gonna just post a story, I guess. So if I'm here, okay, and I take a picture, okay, do you guys see this little smiley face right there? Hit that, and then go to location. When I go to location, okay, I can type in ortho pelvic physical therapy. See how it comes up? Tag them or tag your place, because people now are going to search for that and they're going to find you easier when you're tagged in your stories. Just FYI. And I would do that for the businesses that you're actually going to go see. Sorry, Jatal, you can't see. Okay, well, I will show you when it's off of me. I will show you when I stop sharing my screen. Okay, so that being said, just make sure you tag in your stories and I'll show you that in a second. But what I want you to do is you're going to go to your Instagram and you're going to create a video that says, let's just say I'm going to Orange Theory. Hey guys, I find Orange Theory, I like them on Instagram. Hey guys, my name is Dr. Kelly Alhui. I am founder of Orthopelvic Physical Therapy, and I was actually just in your place taking a class. I absolutely loved it. And I was talking to some of the members there, and they were saying that they can't run on the treadmill because they have leakage. I would love to do some collaboration. Please let me know and get back to me. That's it, okay? If they don't get back to me within like 2 days, and the best part about it is they can actually, like you can see when they've seen it. So you know that they've seen it rather than an email. Then I'll send them another video. Hey, blah, 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 whoever, maybe I got the manager's name now. Hey, Sally, I know that, you're probably busy, but I just wanted to send you another message to see if we could do some kind of collaboration. And if you guys don't have time for that, is there a way that we can offer some value to your client on teaching them how to run without leakage. I'm just switching up my wording and trying to give them more value. So that's what you have to do sometimes to get into this place. Like, guys, Fit for Moms took me like over 2 years to get into. I'm finally doing a workshop for them like in 2 weeks, like literally over 2 years of me DMing them on Instagram, contacting them through all different platforms, every platform possible. And finally, I don't know what it was. Maybe they got a new leader. I don't know, but they finally let me in. So don't give up. Okay. That's the point of that. And you can also send the voice text if you're uncomfortable with the video, but the video is what's going to catch their attention. So I get this question a lot. Should I do paid or unpaid? There's options. There's no right or wrong. So number one, you can charge $30 to $40, I would say, per workshop. And the attendees pay that. So per client or patient that comes to the workshop, they're going to pay $30 to $40. You can also, option number two is you can give that money to the gym. So let's just say the gym has 6 people that attend and they each are charging them $40. The gym now has made, I don't know what 6 times 40 is, whatever that math is. The gym now has made at least over $200 off of you. The gym is more than likely going to want to invite you back. So now you're adding value to that gym and just saying, and instead of just saying, hey, give me your people, I want to market to them, right? So if you guys are like, man, why do they want me to come talk to their clients? This is a way that you can actually bring them physical money, and they would be more than happy to keep inviting you back every single month to do some kind of workshop. And you could split it up. You could do like a leakage workshop 1 month. And then like each month could be a different theme. And then you can do a hip workshop. Then you can do a low back workshop. Then you can do a prolapse workshop. Then you can do a lifting workshop. Like there's so many different workshops that you can actually do and keep hitting the same gym if that's your vibe. You can also split the cost. So let's just say they make $250. You can then split the cost. You get half and they get half. It's a win-win for both. The third or fourth option is you can just say, hey guys, I actually charge $150 to $200 to do a workshop, and the gym then pays you to come in to provide their clients value. They don't charge the clients now, but you actually get paid for your time. And then the fourth option / fifth option is you can just do a workshop for free. Okay, that's it. So you guys probably asking Kelly, which one works out best? I mean, you should be thinking that. There's literally no right or wrong, to be honest. If you're really having a hard time getting into a gym, I would do the option where they charge the members and they get the money. That's the option I would do. If you're like, wow, this gym's like really letting me in, I would do more the free because I can get more people into my world then and like market to them. And I know on the back end, then I can get more clients out of that. So again, it just depends on the audience and who it is. Okay, so people always ask me, Kelly, how do you advertise? So what I do is this is Fit for Moms that's coming up, okay? I ask them for their logo. So you'll see that down here. We make an IG story and we always make this on Canva. And how I get myself with like no background is you can just on Canva, there's just like merge background, like where you can just put yourself on any background and it looks like this, okay? So we do an IG story and then we also do a post. And we'll kind of give when the workshop is, where is it at, and then what we're actually going to be talking about. And we take both of our logos, so my logo and Fit for Moms, and we put it together and we advertise. We start to advertise about 2 weeks ahead of time, and we'll blast it out anywhere between 2 to 4 times before the event, just so you guys know, okay? Typically, if you're doing an event at a gym, at someone else's gym, you're going to get their clients. This one over here on the right is actually, we did an event at my own facility, and we got clients that didn't want to pay for treatment yet, but they wanted to kind of have like a little bit of what it would be like to have treatment with us. So we charge $40 for attendees to come to our workshop at Orthopelvic, and it was a hip workshop. And they came in for an hour. It was on Zoom. You can record it, and you can also repurpose this. So let's just say I'm spending my time giving a workshop, and I'll tell you about this in a minute, but I need you guys to record yourself, and then that way you can repurpose it and you can start selling it as products to then be able to monetize your time and get your time back. Okay, so now we have a recording of this workshop that now at any point in time we can advertise, hey, you guys want to have no more hip pain? Here's the link, and it's already in a product, and we just send it to them. Super easy. Okay, when you're advertising, as you can kind of see here, this is in a Facebook group, the Real Ladies of Loudoun County. I know, real unique, right? But Loudoun County is the county I live in, and there's over like 35,000 women in this group. Okay, and I didn't put it in. The owner of this group actually put and advertised our workshop in her group, which is great. But you can put your own stuff in these groups a lot of times, not always, but a fair amount of times you can put your own stuff in there to promote, hey, I'm having this workshop come up. Okay, I did not include the price on this flyer right here on the right. However, I probably should have, to be honest, looking back at it, because then I had to have DM them about the price. Is that okay? And then are they committed? So I probably should have put, just for advertisement purposes, hey, this is $40. $40 isn't that much. And I just probably should have put that like in a corner somewhere on here. So just FYI. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Okay. Things to bring to a workshop. This is super important. So I always love a paper pelvis or a real pelvis. You don't have to get all fancy. If someone does not have this paper pelvis, I can make sure that it is in your library so that you have it. But I made this, okay? Here, whoop, hold on, went south. So, I don't think you guys can see me, but that's okay. But yeah, so the pelvis is something I like to bring, and then my cards. This is Orthopelvic, any flyers I like to bring or any brochures I like to bring. Also, a tripod so that you can set your own phone on that and start recording yourself. And I would just put the tripod like back in a corner and then just make sure it's aimed at you. Okay. And then sometimes I will bring flyers that are already pre-made with breath work. So because everyone I get breath work, I have breath work in a sitting position, I have breath work done in a standing position, and I have breath work done in a lying down position. That's all on the handout so that they understand like they can do this in all different positions. Also, I bring an iPad. So, and I'll show you guys this in a minute, but I bring my iPad and I literally have in Google Sheets. I think this is a fun thing. In Google Sheets, just go and download the app. Make sure that it's offline, because a lot of times at these gyms, you're not going to know the Wi-Fi. And I don't want you to freak out and be like, oh my gosh, I can't get into this. How am I going to do this? So make sure it's offline, available offline. It's like a little toggle thing you have to switch. And then what you're going to do is pass around the iPad. So you're going to pass around the iPad and say, hey guys, please make sure your name's on this, and I'll get into that in a second. But if you have an iPad or just like a smaller computer, I really like to bring that instead of a piece of paper, because a lot of times when people write their name and their email, we cannot read it. So when they have to type it, then we can accurately call them or email them or do whatever we need to do. So I always arrive 15 minutes early to talk to anyone and everyone that's walking in that door, okay? I start to chat with either the owner or other members. So whoever comes into my workshop, like this is a picture of when I was in this room. So who's ever walking in the door, hi, I'm Kelly, what's going on today? Why are you here today? I'm trying to really sense what I'm going to talk about as they're walking in the door. So I have about 15 minutes to kind of prep in my head. What do I need to start preparing for? Okay. Also, they might be finishing up a workshop. So I might be in there, like my last one I did, I was cheering them on, like, let's go, like, let's do it. Like walking all around. These people didn't know me. I didn't know them. But I was just like hyping up the energy to be like, let's go. And people after the workshop stayed around because I think, when you hype up the energy, people want to know what's happening, right? So that's very important too. Do not walk in there and just sit in the corner and be intimidated, because that's already saying, oh my gosh, I'm terrified. No one talk to me, please. Be really open and be really ready to go. So for those introverted people, you have got to put on like Kelly Clarkson, you're a badass or something, driving to the workshop. Make sure you're like singing it full blast to get your energy up, because people are going to take a lot of your energy, and these workshops are going to take a lot of your energy. Okay. So don't be afraid of it, and just plan afterwards that you need to go do a yoga class or just sit in a corner in a dark room by yourself. Okay. Like, it's a thing. They do take your energy. So like I said, set up your iPod, or set up your tripod, an iPod, and make sure it's facing you. While everyone's getting settled in, make sure that you're passing around the iPad and say, hey guys, I would love for you to sign in. Make sure you're on this sheet. We are offering a free 10-minute phone consultation. So now I have this sheet. It says free 10-minute phone consultation. So do you guys see people put their name, their email, their phone number? And I like this on here. What is the main issue of concern? And so we give examples: hip pain, leakage, low back pain, core weakness, pain with intercourse. That way they know what should they put down. So then we have people put down. And so what I do, if this is on here ahead of time, I will scan this. And what do you guys see as the common denominator here? Like, what is it? You can put it in the chat section. It is leakage. Leakage is the common denominator. So my talk for this gym was leakage. Now, let me state this. Only about 4 people were on the list before I started actually talking. So if that's the case, because you don't want to wait until everyone signs up to then start talking, it would take forever. So what I did is then I was like, okay, cool. I will now poll my audience. So this is very important, because if they're there, like at this CrossFit gym, if I was there talking about chronic pelvic pain, that would not be a win for this gym. So you really have to tailor it. So this is how I kick things off. All right, everyone, let's go ahead, and you're going to stand up. Okay, so you stand up, and then you get everyone in a semicircle around you, not behind you, because it's too much to like spin around. So semicircle. Okay, so let me look on the sheet. See a lot of leakage here. So raise your hand. Who has leakage? Raise your hand. And then you want them to raise their hand. Okay, who has low back pain? Who has pelvic pain? Who has this? As you ask that and you start to see, okay, everyone, let's just go with the leakage example. Now, the next question is, I need everyone to get involved here. Okay, when do you have leakage? Because this is going to tell me what activities I really need to hone in on. So be very specific here. Okay, who has leakage with jumping jacks? Raise your hand. Who has leakage with double unders? Raise your hand. Who has leakage with hollow rocks? Raise your hand. Who has leakage with box jumps? Raise your hand. So the most raising of hands that I get, that's what I'm actually going to start with. And that's very important, because I'm going to start with that activity. So after I pull them, I have not introduced myself. Then I stand in the middle and I'm like, hey guys, my name is Dr. Kelly Alhui, founder of Orthopelvic Physical Therapy. We specialize in treating, this is very important, low back pain, hip pain, pain with intercourse, to help return you guys back to activities. Whatever your slogan is, that's when you need to say that. And it needs to be 10 seconds or less, very short. Okay. And then I always thank everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super thankful to be here, because I am. And I just cannot wait to give you guys some tips and tricks to help stop some of the difficulties that you guys are having today. So this is my chance, guys, at the beginning. Please make sure that you sign, make sure you put your name, your email, and phone number on that iPad that's going around, because today we're going to offer every single one of you guys a free 10-minute phone consultation. So we're going to individualize, just getting on the phone with you, and we're going to actually give you tips customized to you and your problem. Because I see right here, there is a fair amount of problems with leakage. Something like that you want to say. So it gets them excited. Hey, they're going to really help me. Okay. And then I say, all right, let's go ahead. Let's get into it. So after that, I just say, all right, guys, now let's go ahead, and I want you to, hold on, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. And I want to do this with you guys. Stop sharing. Give me 1 second. Now you guys can see me, right? Yeah? Okay. Okay, so I want you guys to kind of do this with me as well if you can. Okay, hold on. Let me just pull this up. Okay, everyone go ahead and stand up for me. Okay, so from here, I want you to go ahead and, hold on, I gotta find you guys. Where'd you go? Okay, I want you to go ahead and touch, okay, does everyone see my pelvis? You see this? Okay, I'm standing in the circle and you guys are my audience right around me. Okay, I want everyone to find this hard bone here. I need you to touch your pubic bone. So I want everyone to touch their pubic bone. Do you guys feel it? It's hard. Does everyone feel it? Then I have everyone raise their hand so that I know that they're with me. If no one is raising their hand, I know I have to slow down. Okay, does everyone feel their pubic bone? Yes. Okay, good. We got some hand raising. Okay. Now what I want you to do is go and press in. So just go up a little bit more, and you feel that where it's squishy? Press right in there. And it may actually feel like you have to pee. And that is your bladder. Did you know you can touch your bladder? Who knew they can touch their bladder? Do you see how I keep repeating and asking them questions? That's going to get them more involved. The more that I can get them involved, the more likely that they are actually going to come and see me. If I'm just standing up there talking, hi, this is me, and this is the pelvic floor, and I have no interaction, they are not going to come see you. Okay? Now, okay, you guys feel your bladder. Okay, now, everyone, keep standing up for me. Okay, so from here, all the way around to the back part here, which is here, let me angle my computer, which is here, all the way to here, around to here, and I always get laughs because I grab my butt, and people are like, ha, 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 you're grabbing your butt. It is what it is, right? So I'm like, to here, this is your pelvic floor. And I just give them a little, anatomy. That's it. This is your pelvic floor. So why is this important to you? That's basically what I say. And then I show them how I connect the dots. So let me go back to screen share here. Okay. So you'll see that's the softer part. There's over 20 different muscles of the pelvic floor. Okay. Now I need everyone, I'm going to stop sharing. I need everyone to place one hand on their chest and one hand on their belly. From here, I'm just going to now go ahead and breathe, guys. And so what I would do is just walk around and I would literally look at them. What is this person doing? What is this person doing? What is this person doing? Then, if it's okay, I would then use someone as an example. So I would just ask them, hey, is it okay if we all look at you? Like for real, I just ask, is that okay? And sometimes we'll be like, sure. And sometimes they're like, no, okay, well then move to the next person that's doing the incorrect breath. Once I do that, I'm like, guys, what do you notice out of Sally over here? Is the top hand moving or the bottom hand moving? Which one? Who thinks the top's moving? Raise their hand. Who thinks the bottom is moving? Raise their hand. Do you see how I'm really interacting? I'm not like, now look at her bottom hand, it's moving. I'm asking them. Always ask. Keep asking questions. It's very, very important. Okay, now, okay, so you guys think the bottom hand's moving? Okay, so you think the top hand's moving. Great. So now, what does that tell me? Who thinks the pelvic floor When her top hand is moving, who thinks the pelvic floor is, do you think it's lifting or do you think it's relaxing? Which one do you guys think? Lifting? Who's with me? Lifting? Okay. Who thinks it's relaxing? More than likely they get it right. They're like, yeah, it's lifting. Yes, because this is now a whole system. So you educate them, and then I throw something funny so they loosen up. So when I talk like this, do you think my pelvic floor is lifting or do you think it's relaxing? And they're like, lifting. And you're like, great, fantastic. When I talk like this, do you think my pelvic floor is relaxing or lifting? They're like, oh, it's relaxing. So they start to make the connection, but I make it fun and it's not boring. I don't have to do like a PowerPoint presentation like I'm kind of doing right now. So you really want to make it interactive as much as you possibly can. All right, so we did breath work. Okay, so what hand is moving? We did all that. Great. Okay, now I want to know, remember at the beginning how I asked them what movement patterns are actually causing them issues? So let's just say they're at a CrossFit gym. Typically, guys, CrossFit gym, leakage with double unders, hollow rocks, box jumps, what else? I put like when they're jump roping and also lifting. So those would be the things that I would typically hear, just to give you guys a heads up. For a yoga studio, I hear hip pain a lot of times, low back pain, chronic pelvic pain, and they like to do lots of modifications of different yoga poses. So just have that in your head before you go into these places. Pilates, they really like to talk about like low back, they like DRA, any core engagement. That's really what they like to hone in on. Orange Theory goers or like boot camp places, they really like leakage a lot of times. Running on treadmills, typically you want to fix that gait pattern. And then also core work with lifting. So if I'm hitting CrossFitters, I'm going to really then hone in on how to do a double under. That is going to be something that they're going to pay attention. I'm not going to hone in on how to correct a yoga pose at a CrossFit gym. It just won't speak to them. So this is the biggest point out of the whole entire night that I think it's very important to understand this. You have to give them quick solutions, but this is a very big but point out they still have a problem. So let's go back to the breath work. Remember when I was saying, okay, who is chest breathing? Who's belly breathing? You need to point out people because everyone else needs to see what a chest breather looks like because maybe they aren't one. Everyone needs to see what a belly breather looks like because maybe they are one or maybe they aren't one, just depends. When people see stuff, they're like, oh, I get it more. It's a more sensory input, okay? And many people are different kind of learners. One's auditory, one's visual, it just depends, right? So that being said, you have to say, okay, whoever was a chest breather and that top hand was moving, that means there is dysfunction to the system. The whole system from the glottis all the way to the pelvic floor. So people, more than likely, you have tightness in your pelvic floor, and that's typically what's causing your leakage, just so you know. Okay? And the best way to help resolve that is actually coming into the office and us lengthening your pelvic floor. So you're like, so what does this look like? So let me just take this off for a second. Okay, so you're like, what does this look like? So what we do in the office, just so you guys know, we place one finger in the vaginal canal, if you're comfortable, and we're going to stretch the tissue because this is when I start using my bicep, because my bicep is a lot more easier to see than the pelvis, okay? So what we do, guys, is we actually have to lengthen the pelvic floor. Then we're going to contract the pelvic floor because we have to re-educate it. And then we return you back to your running function. So more often than not, because of the dysfunction that we're seeing, because you're a chest breather, you have tightness happening. When I breathe like this, there's tightness. Do you think that I can go and lift this pelvis if my bicep is like this? Can I do that? Again, I'm asking them. Can I lift this? Yes or no? No. Okay. If my arm's like this, now do you think I can lift this pelvis? and actually move the pelvis, I can. And that visual is really, really important, guys. I would do the bicep visual. It really helps them. They get it. Okay. Then the third phase is to get you back to and say the activity that they said. Get you back to running, get you back to lifting, get you back to whatever. Okay, whatever they say. So I'm pointing out that there's still dysfunction, and I'm pointing out what we do as pelvic health physical therapists that is going to help truly solve their problem. But I'm also going to give them quick wins. Okay, so let me just share that. Okay, so with this, going back to this, leakage with jumping. All right, so everyone stand up. So here we go. So because you guys want to talk about leakage, this is a quick win. We're going to take a ball and we're going to put it in between our legs. I don't have one by me, and you guys can't see me anyways, but now you're going to squeeze. So you're going to squeeze the ball. Okay? As you squeeze the ball, I want you now to feel your inner thighs working. Do you guys feel your inner thighs working? Yes, I do. Do you guys feel it? Yes, I do. Okay, so now we're all in a circle. I'm going to lower this so you guys can see my feet. Okay? So from here, everyone's in the circle, and I want you guys to try this for real if you can. I'm going to face this way. So I want you guys to start to bounce for 10. So you're going to count, and anyone at any time has to stop if they feel pressure or if they feel heaviness in their pelvic floor, and we're going to count to 10. We're going to do 10 bounces. So here we go. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, did anyone have any leakage? Raise your hand. And then I look around the room. And at that point, maybe no one raises their hand, because more than likely that's not going to cause leakage. So I don't expect them to. Okay, so no one has leakage. All right. So now we're going to go to level 2. So now, okay, I'm here. Now my heels are actually going to leave the ground. So 10, at any point in time, you're going to stop and remember your number. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, who felt that? Oh, we had 2 people here that felt that at, okay, so when did you feel it? What number did you feel it at? I felt it at 3. Oh, when did you feel it? Oh, I felt it at 6. Okay, so you guys remember that. Now, just remember those numbers, and you guys are going to pause right there. For all the other people that did not feel it, we're going to go up a level. So now I'm going to do I'm going to actually jump and do a soft landing. So it looks like this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? Then I ask again. Okay, who felt it? Pretty much everyone's hand goes up then. Or not. Maybe they don't. But a lot of people's hands go up. Okay, I felt it at 1. I felt it at 5. I felt it at whatever. Okay, remember your number. Now, whoever still does not have leakage, this is the last test. I either do, well, I shouldn't say that. There's a couple more. I either do then a jump rope bounce, guys, for 10. Okay, because this is going to cause leakage. Or I do jumping jacks, because a lot of times bringing the legs apart is going to cause leakage. Okay, and I do that for 10. So everyone knows what activity caused leakage, and everyone knows what number. Then I have everyone grab that ball, place the ball in between the legs. I have them do the same activity. So if they said, Kelly, at 5, with my heels coming up, I felt it, then redo the activity. Have them squeeze the ball, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and tell me if you feel less pressure. And it's like, you'll be like, wow, it's like all these aha moments are happening, because they're like, wow, I didn't feel anything. That's crazy. And that is a buy-in, guys. That is called a buy-in. They now have bought in to you, which is you're the product. And that's what you want them to have. Okay? So that's just one example of a quick win. Another quick win, if someone's like, I still feel it, have them land soft. So you'll see me, instead of doing this, hard jumping like this, have them absorb, absorb, absorb. So when someone's trying to do a jumping jacks, instead of them having to go out and then back in, have them actually do a scissor jack like this, okay? That will have less leakage than this because my adductors can't come in and work. This, my legs are still kind of together and they're gonna have less leakage. On top of that, if they're like, Kelly, I still can't do any of those, fine, take the ball, put it between your legs, and have them move their arms and jump, okay? Another quick win I like to give, this is my third quick win, I like to give 3 things, is lean over onto something. So here's like a bar. I like to lean over onto that, like Burn Boot Camp, to have these bars or like a counter or something, and then I'll have people jump like this, okay? Why do you guys think that that's effective? And I literally asked this to them. I'm like, why do you guys think that now you don't feel like you have to leak? I take out my model, I then show them, hey, your bladder now rests right here on the pubic bone, so now you're gonna have a lot less leakage. But, this is the but. This is the very important part. So, this is not solving your problem, just so you guys know, okay? This is very important to say. Because now they think, oh, okay, my problem's solved. She just fixed it. No, this is not solving your problem, but what this is doing is repositioning things. You really have to come into the office, or you come to them if you're mobile, whatever you want to say with that, so that we can actually fix this once and for all and the leakage doesn't come back. We have got to lengthen the pelvic floor, and I'll restate what we have to do to the pelvic floor so that they understand that they have to come into the office and see us. If I just give them my 3 tips and then go, okay, you guys know how to cheat the system a little bit, bye-bye, they're gonna think, oh, this girl just solved my problem. And they're not gonna understand why they actually need to come in. And so when I say come into the office, they're kind of doing this micro commitment of, yes, I'm going to come see you because I need help. And that's really important to point out. They still have the problem, and that is why they need to come see you. Okay, so this is a series, ball squeeze, soft landing, lean over an object. You have to have them do the motion first and then repeat with adding something else in so that they can see that you are actually providing them so much value, okay? For a core eval, I like to have them do a sit-up, okay? And to see, is there 6-pack? So I'm gonna try to pull up my Instagram. I pulled it up. Can you guys give me a thumbs up in the chat section if you guys can see this? Hopefully you can. Just give me a thumbs up or a yes. Yeah, just let me know. Yes? No? Yes. Okay, good. Perfect. Okay. So this is the video I got at my workshop, guys, and this is also really important. You can also use it for content. You'll see this girl, she has 6-pack. She also has DRA right there. That's DRA, okay? But you'll also see her hernia right here. And so she's trying different strategies. So what I did is I had everyone come over to her because I first had everyone do a sit-up. Every single person. And it takes time, guys, when you have I had a group of 15 people, okay? So I'm like, okay, do a mini sit-up, do a mini sit-up, do a mini sit-up. And I'm walking around the group. And they're getting a workout in, so now they're complaining because they're sweating, which is fine, I love it. And I see this, and I'm like, oh, that's a hernia. I'm like, can everyone come and watch you? And so everyone comes around, and I point out that ball right there is a hernia. And then what I do, so that's it, right? Then what I do is say, pause, let's draw the rib cage to the hip bones and really pull in your TA, and now no hernia happening, okay? And because of that, they were in awe that she could actually not have that hernia show up when the hernia was actually there. Then what I did is I took the owner of the gym, because that's always fun to pick on, and he was doing a hollow rock. And when he was doing a hollow rock, his muscle. Have you guys seen the girls, like especially the supermodels, that like this part goes in, like where their line is, and then this part kind of, like this part poofs right here, like it poofs like this. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yes, anyone? No? I'm trying to do it with my abs. This part here poofs out, ish, okay? But what that tells me is this right here, when it poofs like this, and this is sunken in on the sides, it tells me they're only, well, I shouldn't say only, they're mainly using their six-pack muscle, okay? Compared to me actually pulling in my transverse abdominis here. Otherwise, this wouldn't be so poofy. So as I have them do a mini sit-up, if this dips in and this comes out like this, that means their transverse abdominis is not kicked on. Okay? So I cue them, draw rib cage down to hip bones, pull belly in, and then that's how they get their abs to be flatter as they actually do that. Okay? So let's see. Yes, yeah, she's a gymnast, of course. Yeah, and so they're just using their six-pack. They're just using their six-pack. Yeah, I think I had that poof. And you may, Jamie, you may. So this may be something that if you do, then you have to go and correct that for people. So now I want everyone to look at this person, and that's what I did for this girl. I'm like, now, can you see when she does this and pulls this in, how it completely changes her abdominals? And then everyone's like, wow, that's so cool. This is so cool that you can really change this. And same thing with the owner. He was really impressed because he was doing a hollow rock. His abs were coming out. And then when he pulled everything in, he really, really started to shake because he wasn't using his abs correctly. He was using the superficial ones because it's easier to use the cute six-pack muscle and it's harder to use the transverse abdominis. So even if you guys don't be intimidated by these CrossFitters or these gymnasts, or because you're probably looking at them like, wow, they're real ripped. Yeah, they're ripped, but they use these like really superficial muscles and they don't really understand how to use those deeper layer ones. Okay? That's very important because people can be intimidated by them, but don't. Because their core sucks, because guess what? A lot of CrossFitters, they don't do a lot of like sidestepping, they don't do a lot of rotational movements, and they don't know how to activate their transverse abdominis. I'm just saying, I worked with a lot of them, thousands of them. Okay, so it's a problem in the CrossFit world. All right, so let me share this again. So that's the girl. I thought that was important. So what I would do is just try to correct that and then get them to understand, hey, that's how you have flat abs. And I speak to flat abs because I'm not saying that I'm going to give everyone flat abs. I'm just saying that that's what people want. People want to not have that pooch. So if you use words of this can flatten your abdominals, I'm not promising anything, but if this can flatten your abdominals, because it can, I can go from having a belly to pulling my abs in and making my abs flat, then they're going to like that and they're going to start paying attention more. So with that, let me stop sharing too so you guys can see. With that, I always talk about pressure control. So they're always like, Kelly, I got the DRA. I got that gap. Like they always say that, right? I got the gap. It's here. I'm like, okay, great. Fantastic. You got the gap. So now I want everyone, and I have them do this. I'm like, put your fingers right here in the linea alba pretty much, right? Right there. Okay. Now sit up. Do your hands squish in? You know, do they go in? Do they sink in a lot? No, maybe. I don't know. Can you come feel? Okay, let me come feel. Nope, you're good. Then I have them, same thing. Oh, mine really squishes right here. Okay, cool. Can I use you as an example? All right, Sally, I explained to her, you can still have a six-pack even if your abs are like this or even if your abs are like this. And by the way, there's a big myth that you shouldn't do sit-ups. But if you guys just saw in that video, I don't know if you saw, it's pretty cool. When she did it in her initial sit-up, it actually drew the six-pack together. So sit-ups, because there is that myth that don't do sit-ups if you have DRA, an actual flexion of just the rectus will actually draw the abdominals together. The TA actually pulls the six-pack apart, just FYI. But a combination of both, which is why I teach ribs to hips. When I flex here, six pack works. When I pull this in, TA works. Now all my force is going this way, and this way. Now I've created a canister that's gonna support me in whatever movements I'm going to do. So once they understand that, they're like, oh, cool. So now we're gonna transition that into, if I was at a CrossFit gym, into now lifting with the bar overhead or squatting with my abs pulled in. And so I'll do that in a standing version, and then I'll get them and actually have them do a movement that they have leakage. So someone says, Kelly, past 200 pounds, I have leakage. Great, okay? Let's all throw the bar up in the air or put it on your back. Okay, everyone, if you want to, or if you're comfortable, can you pull up your shirt so I can see? If not, I'll individually go up to them and say, can I pull up your shirt for a second? And I just lift it up and see what's happening. Okay, because this is hard to see with this, like this. So from here, if you're here, are you like this? Or are you like this? A lot of them are like this. So then all I just say is, can you get this here? Can you create that all the force going in all different directions as we have the bar up over the head, which we just talked about? And then they start to realize, like, wow, okay, I can do this. Or they use a PVC pipe. Okay, so that's really important, especially when it comes to a CrossFit community. Now, if you're talking to like a yoga person and they have chronic low back pain, teach them that doing a chair pose like this, okay, is going to compress the crap out of my back. Instead, can they do a chair pose like this? Okay, that alone is going to help them. Also, if they have back pain and I'm at a yoga studio, okay, and I'm a yoga certified, okay, and Pilates, but this, doing a chair pose here, when my legs are in, where does most of my compression go? To my back. So why don't we just do a modification of spreading the legs out and having them go into chair pose? Who says the legs have to be together? No one, not the yogis, okay? I mean, the yogis do say that, but be different and tell them to put their legs apart. Takes pressure off the back. Also takes pressure off the hips. Okay, so just knowing the audience, I think, is very important with these workshops. All right, let me pull this guy back up. Okay, we talked about pressure control, doing sit-ups. Okay, again, low back pain. So 3 wins that I like to give low back pain in a workshop is pelvic tilts, getting them to understand what a pelvic tilt is, and then also a TA contraction, because they're 2 separate things. TA contraction is where you're just pulling your belly in, the pelvis doesn't move. A pelvic tilt is when it actually goes into a posterior pelvic tilt and then comes back to neutral. Windshield wipers is what you see in the picture. So what I have them do is I have them inhale, legs out to the side, exhale, use your belly and pull your legs back to center. Inhale to one side, exhale, come back to the other. A shimmy, I'm gonna stop sharing so you guys can see what a shimmy is. A shimmy is when I have them lying down and they shimmy. So instead of gapping your spine like with a pelvic tilt like this, I have them do this. Like there's a string attached to their pants, and that way we gap the spine this way and this way. Okay? Because that then gets all the directions and they don't feel stiff and they're like, oh yeah, my back pain now is better. It's like, yeah, because now you have mobility. And then also the piriformis stretch. Everyone's like, oh, it feels so tight. Like they love that one. Also with this is a great opportunity with low back pain. If you did a low back pain workshop, teach lifting strategies. How to get them to not arch their back like I was just talking about. That's huge, to take the compression off their back. Next, if I did like a hip workshop or if I was talking about hip pain, I would start by having everyone squat for me. So everyone, go ahead and stand up for me. Everyone stand up. So by you guys standing up, it's going to get you more interactive and more involved. Okay, now I want you to go ahead and squat for me. Everyone go ahead and squat. Now, notice, does anyone feel any pinching right here? Raise your hand. Do you feel any pinching? So I'm looking out for that. Sometimes at these workshops, I mean, Sonia was just with me. I don't think anyone really raised their hand when they did squatting and they had pinching. And that's cool. Like, that's fine. And other ones are like, yeah, me. So just be prepared for that. So, okay, you have pinching here. Now, again, a test retest is going to prove to them that you know what you're talking about, and that you can help solve their problem. Now, guys, I want you to take your knees, and I want you to press your knees out this way. Now, keep that tension there, and go ahead and squat again. Oh my gosh, now, how low can you guys get? Can you get lower? Do you have less pinching? What is it? And they start to realize, they're like, wow, I can actually go super low now, just from that one cue. Great, but here's the but. That's so fantastic that helped, but just so you know, that also tells me that there's going to be some mobility issues and some hip tightness. And at the office, what we can do, if you don't have an office, you can say, what we can do is we can help increase that mobility through different techniques that we have, because more than likely your hip is like this in the socket, and we need to make it like this. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you I'll show you two things to help get your hip joint from being like this and getting it back in its socket. So number one, what I like to do is I like to use this band here. Okay, I'm going to step into it, and then you guys see how it's in my hip crease? Okay, I'm going to go in a downward facing dog. And I'm going to shoot my hips back. Okay, this band is going to help pull my hip in a posterior direction. So I'm going to shoot it back, come a little forward, shoot a little back, come a little forward. Okay, that could be one example. I would have them come out and then have them re-squat again. And ask them, do you have less pinching? That's what I would ask. Another one I really like to do, and people really like this, let's say it's my right hip that was having that pinching. I'm going to try to see if I can get this. Okay, so I'm here. I'm going to cross one leg over, so my right leg over my left, and I'm going to shoot my butt back into the right. Back into the right. This stretches out my posterior capsule. So that's gonna really help take the capsule that's around the hip joint, guys, and push the hip back this way instead of it going forward. So that's a really good one, and people really say, I love that. Like, it makes me feel so good. Okay, so that's those are really good tips. And then again, tell them, you got to come to the office. You got to see me for this to truly get better, because we really have to work on the hip flexors, the adductors, and I kind of point to what I would like to do to help get that hip to go back in its socket, and so that it doesn't keep coming out for them. Okay, so now I'm going to wrap up the workshop. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. So I give myself 10 minutes to wrap it up, because more than likely people have questions. So I say, guys, I would wear a watch. I really would wear a watch, because for me, I could just talk and talk and talk. But I would just say, I would look at my watch and be like, guys, I have time for 3 more questions, and then I got to run. So that being said, make sure that you are on the sign-up sheet, because anyone that's on there, we're going to give out a free 10-minute phone consultation. I'm repeating what I said at the beginning. So for those that have personalized questions, that's when I can actually answer that as on the phone. That way, they're not asking you, are you at a network? So I had this toe injury, and then I had this ankle injury, and they keep you there for 25 minutes, and then everyone else is passing you, and you're like, wait, but I need to talk to you. You seemed interested. And you're like, yeah, it's just a whole thing, right? We all know those people. So also, you can do this. You don't have to do this, because this is part of the ending offer. This is very important. You can say, guys, if you book an eval this week at the office, we'll give you a free wand. It's $15. That's not that bad. A free band. if you're like, look, Kelly, I'm just starting out, I don't have the money for this, that's cool, you don't need this. Maybe you offer certain handouts that you have made, educational handouts, and that's what you're going to give them for free. You don't have to have an actual product, okay? Maybe you have like some kind of membership thing that you can give them. Or you can do it this way. If you book within the week, you have to create urgency. So if you book within this week, then we're going to actually give you guys a 10% off discount just for attending this workshop. And then that way they want to call, or they want to call someone back that calls them from the office, so that way they can get in and get their 10% off. Okay. Also, this is another strategy you can do. Make sure you're on this list, so that way you can get handouts from us of what we did in this workshop, so that you can better understand these techniques. That's another way to get their contact. Okay, so you guys, I would screenshot this if you can. This is very important too, because this is our follow-up emails that we use at Orthopelvic after a workshop. So just screenshot it. Okay. Okay. So let's just say I did the workshop on a Saturday. On a Monday, I'm calling them. Well, I'm not calling them, my admin. So if you have admin, let the admin call them. If you don't have admin, then you need to call them. And sometimes, guys, when I used to work for myself, I would just call them the next day on a Sunday. The quicker that you can follow up with them, because they're so energized from like what you were doing, the better. So, and let me just state this. I'm not trying to book someone right then and there at a workshop. I'm really not. I'm just trying to get their contact information. That is the goal of the workshop. And I'm trying to basically convince them that they need my help and that I am the right person for them. That's the goal of a workshop, is not to actually book them right then and there, because they're going to have too many questions and it just takes up way too much of your time, and that's what the phone call's for. So the first day on Monday, hi, this is, you can say Kelly or Molly from Orthopelvic PT. Thank you so much for attending the workshop at this place. Yeah, great. She said it was all awesome. Great. I will give you a ring to offer you a free 10-minute phone consultation. Again, this is who I am. Would love to schedule a free phone consultation to educate you about whatever issue, because remember on that sheet, it says, what issue do you have? So I really can speak to them. That's why it's important to put that. Oh, about your leakage issue. Okay, great. So I know that you've been struggling with this and would love to help you. Please give us a call back. And that's it. Then I send an email, same kind of messaging. Hey, would love to, get you signed up for a free 10-minute phone consultation. Then on Tuesday, guess what? Call them back and say the same thing, except now this time I'm just saying, also check out our Instagram. So for those people that have good Instagrams, or if you have a good TikTok, or if you have a good YouTube, or if you have a good Facebook, whatever you have of social proof, put it on there. Look, if you have no social proof, then I would guide them to your actual website. If you have a website. If you don't even have a website, then I would just provide value to them. I would just do a handout. I would give them a handout or something in the email. Okay. So depending on where you're at, I would guide them to those things. Okay. Then the next day on Wednesday, I'm literally calling them, and you guys are probably thinking, wow, Kelly, you're going to annoy the crap out of these people. Some people, don't get offended. Some people will say, wow, you guys are really calling me. Or they'll say, wow, you guys are actually really emailing me. That's okay. And just say, oh, I'm so sorry. Would you like us to take you off our list? And when we just remove them. Okay. So on Wednesday, we basically say the same thing again, except making sure that they checked out our Instagram. And now we're sending them to our testimonials and also our website for more, for other information. And we wanted to get them to see our stories. And we have highlights on our Instagram that say testimonials, like video testimonials of patients. That's very important if you haven't gotten that. And then that's going to be kind of proof that, hey, these people really know what they're doing. Also, guys, every single time I call them, I'm also following up with an email sequence that has video testimonials of the patients with that exact problem. So if Sally, right here in this example, has leakage, I'm sending her a video testimonial of a patient that has leakage. If Bob came to the workshop and he has tailbone pain, I'm sending him a video of, or if you don't have video, screenshot a Google review that has someone talking about their tailbone pain and send it to them. If you're just starting out and you don't have any of this, that's okay. But I want this on your radar so that every single patient you have, try to get some kind of review. Video is best form. Then a Google review is after that. But then you're going to use that in email sequences when people are unsure if they want to purchase or if they want to come and see you. Because that a lot of times they trust a random stranger that said they had tailbone pain and now they're better over you. That's just how it works. Okay, so then I followed up. I called them Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, guys. Then if they still haven't answered my calls, I give them 2 days break. So I give them Thursday and Friday off. Then I recall them again. So I wait a couple days and then I recall them on Monday and then I text them. I don't use text too much because I try to use that sparingly because people will get pissed if you over text them. So I'll text them then the following week and see if that's a better way to reach out. I'm just trying a different version of reaching out. Okay. And then I'll email them added value. I'll email them like a breath handout that I was talking about with the hands on the belly in a sitting position, a standing position, and a lying down position. And after the second call, so then I will call them as well. And if they still don't answer me, then I'll give it a week and then I'll call them. But I hit them really hard up front. If I find they're ignoring me, then I'll text them a different way. So I'll text them. And then if they're still not answering me, I'll give it a week and then reach back out to them again. Because maybe they were on vacation. Maybe my email was going to their spam. I don't know, but don't get in your head saying, oh my God, they hate me. They're not calling me back. Because that's not the case. They may just love you. They just may not know that you're sending them all these messages. So try it a different way and don't get in your head. Okay. All right, guys, any questions? I know I'm long-winded. So any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that? Hopefully you guys learned something. Yes, Rachel, go ahead.
I just had a question for if people ever get shy or you feel like you're putting them on the spot when you're asking them to raise their hand for like a personal issue such as leakage and how you handle that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Sometimes they will, but there's always like someone that is in there that's like anxiously like me, like pick me type thing. I did, like Sonia was with me at one of my workshops recently and I just called this guy randomly out. He probably wasn't that happy that I called him out, but I saw like a lot of coning in his abs and I was like, man, I'm like, is that okay? Can I really like point this out? And I think after me talking through it in front of everyone, he got more comfortable. And at the end, he pulled me aside and he's like, hey, how do I really fix this? Like, I really want to fix this. And I think because I actually called him out, he was then more into the workshop. He was one of the only guys in the class. And I think he was like, oh crap, I have a problem because I pointed out a problem, right? So if no one is like, if everyone's really shy, then I would just point it out like on yourself. Like if I did this, then let's try this. But to be honest, I probably have done, I don't know, over 200 plus workshops. And I really haven't had a time where like everyone's just sitting there. And if they are, then I need to change up what I'm saying because I'm not getting them interactive. The way I really approach it is I just kind of make everyone feel kind of loose. That's why I make jokes like your anus. Or like when Sonia was with me, I was like, yeah, now lift your anus or lift up and try to teach them a Kegel. And everyone's like, ha, ha, ha. And that kind of like lightens the air because everyone's like, yeah, I am here for leakage then, it just kind of loosens it up a little bit. So if you feel that vibe, I would really try to switch up what you're saying then and get them interactive.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Christina, go ahead.
Hey, so I've done 3 workshops now and They've been great. That's literally how I've gotten basically most of my caseload, like at least 80% of it. So everything you're telling me has been amazing. I still feel like I got even more value from tonight. So some of the questions I have are, I've had either PT assistants in attendance, or this last workshop I did last weekend, I had 4 instructors show up. And instructors are not your average bear because they ask more questions, which is great. But I think the mistake I was making is, so I gave the 3 quick tips to reduce leaking. And like everybody was like, you just see like light bulbs going off. Like one mom that was 3 months postpartum, she needed to combine all 3. Everybody else could find one that worked for them. But then one of the instructors was like, okay, so how do we apply this to our training? And so I started giving them tips on that. But really, what do you recommend? Do you recommend that I give them like, okay, I basically said to scale it, just like you would any other part of your body, start small and then build up. But what I really should have done is build value in coming to see me. Like, how would you have dealt with that?
So what I would have done, this is a great question because this happens. I actually had a PT in my last workshop. Okay, so with the instructors, what I would have said is, hey guys, you know what? I actually know that there's a need that I would love to actually just teach you guys. So how does that sound? Can we set up a workshop just for you guys? And then that way, Christina, I then would have charged them, okay? Because now you're a consultant. Now the price goes up. Like this is a really good point for everyone. If let's just say I charge $200 a visit, okay? If I am consulting instructors, okay, like I did the whole Bar 3, I don't know if you guys know them, it's a big company, Bar 3. I consulted them and did their whole pregnancy program when I was in Portland. That I got paid a lot of money for because you're a consultant. So if I charge $200 for a patient, I'm charging $400 for consulting. Okay, and it should be double. So if you're teaching instructors, because now those instructors are now teaching all those people and creating that much more value to that studio, then what I would have done is said, guys, let's all teach you together. And your price, if you're teaching 3 of them, I mean, you could even go up to like $500-$600, to be honest.
Okay. And then, can I ask one more question?
Yeah, go ahead. Definitely.
Hold on. I have to think about it. I forgot it for a second.
Talking about instructor.
No, it's about, picking somebody. So this last workshop, I didn't do it the same as I had the prior 2 workshops. And instead of me walking around, because there was such a big group of people, well, it was 16 for me, that was big. Instead of me picking out the one like, oh, can I use you? I let them pick. And it wasn't as amazingly successful as when I picked it, because sometimes you get quick wins and it's really easy for them to have like you showed on the video, like, right. Oh, I can clearly close that DRA, or I can clear, right. And then I picked one and I was like, oh my gosh, this is coming from your thoracic spine. I was like playing around with it. I was like, oh yeah, okay, you need more.
Right. And that's a good point, is I pick people that I can see that you can see that dysfunction from like, a mile away.
Yeah. I guess I just got confident that I was so successful. I got all, like, I could like get these quick wins. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, next time. Cause with the hip, I did the hip demo.
Yep.
Totally worked. Totally got a quick win. But the follow-up that you have is so great. We got a quick win here, but we still need to follow up with you to make sure that this stays. Like I totally missed that.
And that's the biggest part. Yeah. That's the biggest part. And then that's why they're like, oh, I don't need to come see you because you just fixed my hip here.
Totally. Yep. Okay.
And then that's what because you give them so many pearls, they love it. But yeah, that's it. Like that's the missing component. So if you're not getting people converting, that's it. You didn't prove to them of why then they actually need to see you.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
This is great.
Great. All right. Who else, guys?
Can I ask one more question too?
Yeah, please, guys. Go ahead.
Just for when you said that, like no one had raised their hand about the hip pinching, what do you then move on to?
So then what I did, Sonia was there. I was like, all right, no one has hip pain. Well, let me show you something. Watch this. And so what I did is transitioned it quickly, but very smoothly. Okay, press into the outside parts of your feet. Do you guys feel this muscle right here that's firing up? And because it activates your glute med. And so I just quickly went and switched it from hip pinching to hip stabilization in 2 seconds. And I was like, everyone needs stabilization. So when you're actually squatting, because you squat to poop on the toilet and you squat to do this, press then out into your hips. And then that's how I changed it up. Yeah. So just be ready for that. But it's kind of, again, really rare that no one raises their hand for something I say, you know? But this was a different crowd. It was like a 65 and plus. I really wasn't, this is normally not my crowd. But I was like, you know what? I'll just do it for these guys. And I guess 65 and older, they don't have hip pinching. I don't know. Bizarre. Who knows? All right, guys. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right, you guys get some value out of this? Can you go crush a workshop now? Okay. Awesome, Rachel. Yeah, I will be doing, I'll put this in y'all's library so that you have this and you can go back and watch it. Okay. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for coming. Bye.